on, folks? Welcome back to the channel. Today is a beautiful day, as you can tell, because I'm picking up the 03 Terminator Cobra. I promised you guys I would make a part 2 to that first video that I made because there's an issue picking up the car because I had a fuel filler neck problem right when I first bought it, and so I had to get it fixed. As you guys know, I was out of town for the last 2 weeks, so the car's actually been sitting at a shop. And we finally picked it up today in Houston. We're in a Buc-ee's, the world famous best truck stop on the planet, to get some gas, put some fuel in the Cobra. And I'm gonna give you guys a quick walk around and show you a few things in the car, the current state of what's going on with it, and if there's anything, I think that needs to be addressed, which there is quite a lot. So let's take a look. So we're gonna go ahead and just start with the exterior of the car. We're gonna start with the front clip, everything fairly squared away. If you guys are keen on your 03-04 Cobras, this is actually not the stock hood. If you'll notice, the paint is a little bit different than the rest of the body. It's the red fire color code from Ford, from the factory, and it was actually repainted to a Cerveni hood, I believe. I don't know how to pronounce it, but this is not exactly the stock hood. As you can tell, there's a little bit of panel gap there. Not perfect. Again, this is not the most expensive Cobra out there, probably one of the cheapest examples I could find. And so a few things, right? You'll notice a few things are, plasti dipped, which I don't really like. Gonna get that removed. Talk about that a little bit later. The wheels are American Muscle 17 by 9s. It doesn't really fill out the wheel well in the back as much as I'd like it to. And so what I'm gonna do is get 17 by 10.5s to fill that out a little bit better. You guys notice, see, it's not really kind of flush with the fender well there. We need a Meteor tire on there, let's be honest. Rest of the exterior, fairly clean. Again, they debadged it, the previous owner did at least, and did some crappy plasti dip work, which I'm gonna replace. Nothing too major on the exterior otherwise to point out. Tints are 5%, gonna get it redone at 25%. And so we're gonna get into the rest of the car. So you'll notice the exhaust is a Bassani catback system. The exhaust, I believe, is Catless X pipe and a Bassani catback system. What I want to do is get it catted so I can pass inspection, and also so that it's not too loud on the freeway. When I was driving, getting here, it's about 3 hours from Houston to Austin, and when you're above 2,000 RPM, it is very loud in the cabin. So something that I want to get addressed for sure. So now onto the interior space, you guys will notice that there's this red trim on the inside, which is certainly not original. It's something I'm not a huge fan of. And so what I'm gonna do is I've already purchased the parts for it, but I'm gonna get the entire interior pretty much redone so that it looks a little bit more factory. If you guys know from the previous cars that I've had, I do like my cars looking mostly stock, except for performance modifications. You'll notice there's little things like the air vent here that wasn't addressed. Super easy, 20 bucks on Amazon, and basic things. Again, not the super cleanest example. Definitely want to get it detailed once I get back home, but generally speaking, not too bad for 2003 Terminator Cobra. Show you guys the back seats real quick. There's my DSLR, which I am not filming on, because this is actually a little bit easier to do and show you guys. Seats, they're the stock Cobra seats there. Get that addressed. Now, on to the fun part. Let me pop the hood for you guys, show you what's going on underneath there. Okay. lid latch up. All right, so pretty much bone stock blower, 4.6 liter, 32 valve V8 motor with the Manley connecting rods, couple forged components from the factory. Not going to get into that, as you guys probably already know all that. Couple things you'll notice: this is obviously not stock cold air intake. It's really not a cold air intake because I'm not a huge fan of these. You can touch it, it's pretty much a hot air intake because of how close it is to the actual rotating assembly and the rest of the, the supercharger and everything. So it definitely gets pretty hot. I'm gonna probably change that out for a JLT intake, where it goes a little bit further down and is capturing more of the cold air coming in. Otherwise, fairly stock motor, stock pulleys, again, stock supercharger. And only thing in terms of performance I believe is done besides the exhaust and the intake is the fuel pumps. I believe it's Deutschwerk fuel pumps, and it's been tuned supposedly by the previous owner. Let me see if I can find that spec sheet for you guys. I do believe that it's in the car here. So this is the dyno sheet from when it was tuned. Honestly, not great. This is the complete one. So you'll see that basically made 390, 420 some pound-feet of torque, and those are kind of the max stats from when it was tuned. Not great, considering from the factory it made at least 390. And so we're gonna try to pump those numbers up here in a little bit when we get into the build. Whoop. I swear to fucking God. So. Y'all are gonna be able to hear me because this exhaust is so damn loud with the Catless X-Pipe. But let me tell you, this thing sounds so good, man. God, so good. So, a couple things I should have mentioned at the beginning of the video. Car's got about 66,000 miles. It's almost gonna be 67,000 by the time we get all the way back to Austin. And I purchased it for exactly 22,000 even. I think the car is listed for about 24, 25. And frankly, there's a lot of things going on with the car, including the fuel filler neck issue where the gas was pouring out of the filler neck from when you guys saw in my last video, which is really not great. I actually spent about $700-800 on that at the West Houston auto repair place. Straight up, I would not recommend them. It charged me about $800 to do something that I probably could have done in my garage if I had the tools, but being stuck in Houston, that's not where I live. I obviously live in Austin, and I had no choice but to get it fixed there, so that might have been the reason why they charged me so much. So a little bit disappointing that I had that issue because I had to get it fixed. Didn't really have a choice the last 2 weeks. But now that I've got the car back, I'm probably about $1,000 into the costs of ownership so far. That's not going to include, title, registration, taxes, gas when I fill it up all the damn time, and all of the parts and fun things that I purchased for it. So stay tuned for the next video. I'm going to do a little kind of an unboxing, showing you guys the layout of all the different things that I purchased for the car and some of the plans that I have for it based off of what it currently is right now, and building it to be the Terminator Cobra that I've always wanted. Frankly, the 03-04 Terminator Cobras have been one of my dream cars for a very long time. You know, I had a 97 Cobra and a 99 Cobra, and as Kobe Bryant would say, it's a different animal and the same beast. So the Terminator Cobra certainly is very different from the 97 Cobra and the 99 Cobra that I had. You know, they were modular, same 4.6 liter 4-valve, but they didn't have a blower on it. There was no forged components in those cars, and so I'm super excited to have kind of attained one of my dream cars. You know, it's not perfect, not exactly the way that I want it to be, but we're gonna get there, and I'm gonna go with you guys through this journey, try to record as much as I can to show you guys the progress with the car and where it's going to be. Maybe take it to some track days, throw it on the dyno, you know, get some street clips going on, try to put some good content together for you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm going to try and put together a lot more content for you guys coming up, especially the new parts coming in. If you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like down below. Feel free to comment. I try to interact with my subscribers. And as always, I do appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.